I'm back, yes, I'm here after like 3 weeks away from the channel. I had planned to take like a week off after I hit the 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube mark, which was massive. You know, if you really think about it, 1,000 days non-stop, not a single day missed, man. It's a huge challenge to do that. And towards the end, it was getting really, really hard. It was like a huge weight around my neck and trying to just get those last couple of videos out. And then when I get over the line to video 1,001, it was like, I just need a break. And I took that week off, and that week became 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks became 3 weeks. And in my mind, I was like, I'm definitely going back to it. I'm definitely going back to it. But also in my mind was a little voice that was saying to me, be careful, because you might drop it and never pick it up again. So I'm well happy to be standing in front of the camera again today, shooting for the first time in 3 weeks. Happy to have had a 3 week holiday. Happy to be back shooting on the video, on putting up the videos onto YouTube again. Happy to be back talking about sneakers, which we'll be doing tomorrow. And it's a nice, I don't know, it just feels really, really good. When we did the 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube video, it wasn't very planned. It was sort of like, you know what, I'm just going to talk about it because my iPad, I probably dropped my iPad in that video as well. It wasn't really planned. It was just sort of like, I'm going to do this off the cuff and just sort of talk to the camera, talk to the people out there, talk to you, and just sort of let it come out. And I thought I'd do pretty much the same with this one, getting back on the horse, as it were, you know, getting back into it. And it's kind of a little worry. Some of it's great. It feels really, really good to have had 3 weeks off, like a really clean break for 3 weeks. No comments, no videos, nothing. Just shut the whole thing down. Keeping a half eye on sneakers, but only that much, not really too much. But weirdly, the channel still grew in a 3 week absence by something like 15 subscribers, which was kind of odd. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little dip in the next 3 weeks, you know, which is kind of counterintuitive. You would think it would be the other way around, but I guess that's the way things roll. But it was great, you know, and I feel really energized to be back and really sort of powerful and like, yes. But also there's the downside that I've forgotten tons of tiny little things. Honestly, it's just little things that made it really easy to sort of have the flow of the videos. And I'm still shooting this. It's still, what time is it right now? It's 10:47 on Thursday night, and I'm shooting this in that 10-minute window that I have while the little one's asleep next door and Mrs. Butter's still in the shower. So I'm still doing it like that, and I'm trying to sort of fit it in that tiny little window. But I've forgotten a ton of tiny little things about how to do YouTube, and it's really, really weird just setting up the videos, setting up the editor and all that kind of stuff, you know, tiny little things. And it's like, oh, you know, I've got to remember those little details. So there is that kind of, you know, great relax. It feels like I've been on the beach for the last 3 weeks and just totally sort of cleansed my soul, but also it feels like I'm like, oh man, I've forgotten tons of those little things that kept this thing ticking over. And speaking of this thing ticking over, I don't want to commit to doing daily content just yet. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I've already got the next 2 videos planned, and I'm hoping they'll come out tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. We'll have 3 consecutive days to start back on, but I can't commit to doing it daily just yet. I'm thinking maybe 3 times a week. I'm thinking maybe daily. I'm thinking just maybe randomly putting videos up. I know that's probably the death of a channel. A lot of channels that don't post on a regular basis kind of die off, and you need that regular sort of like, I'm doing it here, and here, or here if you're doing it daily. And so I haven't, but I don't want to commit to that just yet. So watch this space as far as, you know, how regular the content's going to go. Over the next maybe month or so, we'll try and work out life's rhythm, and that's the really big thing, because this holiday coincided with the start of the school year, and that coincided with my little girl going back to school and starting full-time at school for the very first time. And I am not kidding, it totally destroyed the rhythm of life around here, trying to hit that like bedtime, you know, get it on, get her to bed in plenty of time to get a good night's sleep, to wake her up in the morning, get her off to school, and all that kind of stuff. And it just totally overtook our lives, and I was really, really surprised by how difficult it has been to maintain any kind of rhythm. So if I hadn't had this time off from YouTube, it would have been a real disaster. I was very lucky to hit that 1,000 consecutive days on YouTube right at the point when she went to full-time education, because then I could drop the YouTube for a couple of weeks and focus on her. So it was, timing wise, it was really, really good. But coming back, talking about coming back, I wanted to have a little shout out to some people there. You know, there were some kind words when I was talking in that 1,000 consecutive days and letting people know I was going to have some time off from the channel and from YouTube and stuff, there were some really, really kind words that were sent my way, and I really appreciate them. And some of those words are instrumental in bringing me back onto YouTube and thinking about people saying, you know, we do value your content. We do appreciate what you do and what you put out for us. So please keep doing it. And those, you know, they're small gestures, but they mean something. So what really got me coming back in was this right here, was the Gundam. I have to be careful. And you'll see that in tomorrow's video, and we'll get into my big mistake with Gundam tomorrow. But it was those that I thought, you know, that's a really nice looking shoe. It's upcoming in a few days' time. It's perfect for what I do at the channel. Let's get back on the horse. So when I was thinking about that, thinking about, right, get the video going, get the content going, shoot some videos, and it was those kind words that people had said to me towards those 1,000 consecutive days. At the end of that, when we were sort of getting over that milestone, there was a lot of kind words, a lot of people reaching out and just saying some really nice things, and it really helped me come back and say, right, I am going to keep going with YouTube and not just stop. And then there's, of course, the Godfather. There must be a shoe reference for Godfather. What could be replaced instead of God, like Shoe Father? It doesn't quite sound right. Sneaker Father, it's not there. The Clod Father, that doesn't sound right either. The Clog Father. Our great friend Shoe Butter, he's reached out to me as well, and he's saying, you know, don't let it go too long. If you leave it too long, you'll not come back to it. And it was always in my mind over these. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. But taking that step, actually, you know what it's like when you've got to take that first step. The first step is the hardest, they sometimes say, right? And that's what it's been like for me. It's felt like really difficult, that first step to start shooting the content again, and then it'll all just sort of roll into place. But 3 weeks, a bit longer than I had planned. But here I am back in front of the camera. In that 3 weeks, we had some good stuff going on. I read a book. There you go. A book I'd read before was, I actually watched the Hobbit movies one after the other, which is something I would never have had time to do. Not a huge fan of the movies, to be honest. But I was like, man, that's not how I remember the book. So I went ahead and read the book as well. Because I'd read it when I was much younger, you know, because I was like, no, that's not true. Legolas, what the heck's he doing there? Yeah, I was right. A bunch of that movie is just not even close to the book. But I read a book, and that felt great. Watched some movies. One of the reasons I didn't come back earlier to YouTube was because the 007 James Bond movies are now on Amazon Prime, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch some of them. So I watched Skyfall, and I watched all the Pierce Brosnan, the 4 Pierce Brosnan Bond films, and all this kind of stuff that I wouldn't have normally had time to do because I'm shooting and editing and researching and all that kind of stuff. So it's great to be able to do all those kind of things. But I'm back now. I'm here now, ready to give you that content, bring it back to you guys. And I do need to, actually, I forgot about this, but I do need to sort of do something with those Air Jordan 1 Pollens that I have sitting out there, size 28 centimeters. I think it's something like a 10 in the US. And the Air Jordan 5 Oreos, both sitting there, so 28 centimeters, and they were meant to, you know, go out to somebody out there and never actually did. So I better actually think of what to do with those. I clean forgot about them until we were talking about, you know, just literally talking right now. Like I said at the start of this video, I hadn't planned very much of what I was going to say to you guys today, and those Air Jordan 1 Pollens and the Air Jordan 5 Oreos are just sitting there, and they have to do something. They have to go somewhere. Now, there is my greatest viewer from Belgium who dropped me an email and said he'd take the Pollens off my hands, so they're probably going to go that way. But the Air Jordan 5 Oreos, I need to find something to do with those guys. So watch this space. We'll see if we can come up with something creative and innovative to do with them, along with the rest of the channel. I've got a few ideas about stuff that I do want to do, but of course, talking about upcoming releases is still the main central point of what we're doing here. And we've got those Gundams coming out in a few days' time, so that's going to be video number 1 tomorrow. Definitely check that out. The Nike SB Dunk Highs. The SB Dunk Highs are a bit rarer than just regular Dunk Highs. Gundams, and it's the white unicorns that we'll be focusing on, and not the what they call now, it's not bespoke, but it's something like a Banshee, that's what it is. And then after that are we Air Force One Mid New York cities, and it's the mid on them that got me hooked. So they're the shoes that are bringing us back to the channel, bringing us back to the content. And will it be daily content? We'll just have to watch the space and see what happens. But it's great to be back. It feels good to be shooting the video again. I can hear Mrs. Butters finished in the shower, and she's ready to come out and interrupt me as I'm trying to put the content together. And usually that would drive me nuts, but today it's actually kind of got that nostalgic feel about it, like, we're back. So on that note, I think it's time to wrap this one up. Just another video, I shouldn't really say that because it isn't another video. It's the first video for like 3 weeks. I think the last video went up on like September the 6th, and this one's going to go up on something like September 24th or something like that. So it's been, how many days is that? 18 days, so 2.5 weeks. So there you go. This is Butter interrupting us. On that note, time to wrap this one up. So back on YouTube. Fingers crossed that this turns into something that I want it to be and is a bit more regular, maybe even daily. Watch this space to find out, and check in tomorrow when we do that Nike Dunk, SB Dunk High Gundam Unicorn. So check it out, watch the space, stick around. Hopefully I'll see you guys real soon. Hopefully you're glad to see me back on YouTube. With that being said, time to put this one in the bag, and I will definitely see you guys tomorrow.